That better? I forgot my headphones. Thanks. Thanks, Devin. I mm, there. So, we're last weekend we did the color mixing, and, we just used a couple colors to see what greens we could produce with, a yellow and a blue. So whatever yellows and blues that you have in your palette, uh, is a good um, way of seeing what you're capable of making with as far as greens and skin tones. And this was the yellows and reds, and it made different shades of actually a really nice skin tone. And then also a ochre, ochre, which gives you, again, a little bit different, but it's always good to experiment with your palette that you have in your, the palette you're working with at that time, just so that you can, work with it instead of thinking you have to go out and buy some more greens. You can make your own greens. We did that the Tuesday before, and that's about blooms in my garden. A little bit of a mix of flowers. And on the weekend, Lena, that's Miss Linux 2010, and I did uh, a surprise live stream. We were arting together and we decided, oh, we may as well go live. So we did. And a few of you joined us, and that was great. And we had fun doing a little bit of jelly printing, and uh, then made up something with her gel prints. Hey, Brenda, Devin, I need to make a journal to swatch and play with mixing my colors. Yeah, it's always good. Even now, if you want to have to refer back to your swatches, yeah, put them in a separate journal for just swatches and label what your palettes are. It's a great idea because you may want to go back to that and refer to it when you're doing some kind of a painting. Uh, let me just Okay, so we did this on Saturday, I think it was. And I gave up on making a transfer. I just couldn't get it. They were uh, either too light or just didn't come out clear enough for what I like. So I just decided to put the put the image from the magazine right on there. Hi, Dar. And then I had some fake eco prints. So that this is what a fake eco print is. So it's actually printing with real life flowers and leaves with ink pads and a bit of water, and you put it through a embossing machine. And there's a video on that just a couple weeks ago. And so I used leaves as wings. So she could be anything, fairy, she could be an angel, whatever. And I used the background and just changed it by adding the white kind of smoky look to it. And some tissue paper that I glued on there. Just did a little bit of highlighting in her hair and then some texture paste just to bring it all together so it just doesn't look like it's an image stuck on a page. And I think it turned out cool. I like it. I loved using the fake eco prints you sent me in my fairy journal. I need to download the digital ones you put up for us. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You really use them in a great way. There's so many ways of using them, and you just have to use your imagination. Try anything. That's what our journals and our sketchbooks are for, is to experiment in and explore what you can do. I still see no stickers, baby in a corner. Then I see her, a baby in a corner. Oh, from Dirty Dancing. Yeah, she kind of does look like her, doesn't she? It's an actress from 1931 or something like that. Yeah. So that, you know, just play with your stuff. I wasn't really in the mood for drawing. I just wanted to do some mixed media. And Lena, of course, made a fantastic watercolor and mixed media painting. And you can find her stuff. Devin, if you could put her a link up there, that would be great. And Devin Rex for Art also has a fantastic YouTube channel that you can learn a lot about mixed media and gel printing. Check her out too. Put yours up also. And so today, um, I have started this. So this is the painting that I've already started. So I labeled it as living in a fishbowl type of thing. And sometimes don't you feel that way when when you're a YouTuber? It kind of feels like that sometimes. My channel is the same name as you see here. We'll put it up anyways. A lot of people click on it. Hey, Carol. So I have a little bit I want to add to this, and then I thought I would finish it up with some colored pencils. So the little fat goldfish here, and now I want to get her shoulder in a little bit more here. So I'm going to try and use the colors I was using, which was I've added another color to this, and this is manganese, M. Graham manganese blue hue. I love this color. It's great for water, that type of thing. So on her let's see, right in here is where her neck meets her shoulder, and there's a little spot where it's dark because it's on the other side. So it's a little bit darker. And then a little darker. Let's do a little bit on here. So right by her chin, right in here. It'll be a darker also. This part is the most important little lines you have to put in because it's defining her jaw. And sometimes it's the slightest little color that is needed to emphasize something. I'm going to make this area a little bit darker. Right in here where her shoulder, which is this part, kind of just going over the side here, a little bit darker in here. And maybe a little bit more in here. A bit more. I'm using indigo also in this, but I don't want it the same color as that dark. But we can always add colored pencil to those areas too. Oh, thanks, Devin. So the manganese is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I love this color. So it'd be a little bit of a shadow up in here in her chin area, but it kind of goes into that other color. So her chin goes right into here, into her hair. Then you can just soften the edges with a little bit of clean water. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow with that in here. That, and maybe a little bit in here too, down here. Still think that needs a little bit darker. Right in here where it's the darkest. Right under that curve of her neck. So we'll add a little bit of that. You can always use more, let that dry, and then come back to it. Right in here too. It's going to be dark around her lip. Just a bit though. And right here, a little bit of blue. Soften the edge a little. Hey, Lena. Okay. So a little bit of indigo again, because this is going to be the darkest part in her mouth, and her teeth are going to show a little bit too. So that'll be the darkest, and we can always darken this with colored pencil. Ooh. Okay, that bled into there. I didn't want that to happen. Let that dry. And then a little bit in here. Let's see. And her lips are going to be this orange here that the goldfish were in. And I believe that was Scarlet Lake, maybe. Was it? Let's see. Yeah, I think it was. So the darkest part, oh, let's dry this first so it doesn't seep. Kathy, Kathy, which brands and colors do you find yourself drawn to most in your collection? Probably, I do like Daniel Smith's Green Apatite Genuine for a lot of my botanicals, and also Da Vinci Leaf Green, Winsor Newton Permanent Sap Green. If you don't want to mix your own greens, and I use a lot of Payne's Gray Indigo, Winsor Newton Payne's Gray, and Daniel Smith Indigo. Well, you can see Cobalt. You can see which ones I like. So Cobalt Blue by Winsor Newton. Winsor Newton French Ultramarine Blue. Burnt Umber is always a big one to make blacks or darker colors. And then Henza Yellow Medium and Winsor Newton Windsor Yellow, Indian Red or Indian Yellow by Core, Perline Green, magentas I use a lot. Depends what I'm doing, right? If I'm doing a lot of botanicals, there's usually a lot of greens and reds, that type of thing. Purple sometimes. Okay, so let's put this in here. So her lip is going to be the same color as the, put a little bit of orange in there. Same color as the fish. And, take a damp brush and continue with that. A little bit of Indian yellow right in here. And right up here, she has very big lips, full lips. And it's because of you're kind of looking from below. That's why it looks bigger. Clean brush. Okay. Right there, I believe. Just trying to see where I lost my line. So it comes down. It's a little taller. Comes down into here. And then a little bit of that yellow in there, just on the top part. A little darker on the bottom because it would be shaded. that. Put a little bit more in here. Let's make it a little darker. Yeah, she's got fish lips, of course. Of course she has. All right, let's put that dark area in there. You can always go back in with colored pencil. Um, it's right here is her little bit of a tooth showing there. Actually, is over more. Yeah, it should have been. Okay, let's take that out. Should have been over more. And actually, the color of her lips probably have a little bit of her lip color shining on to the top part of her lip. Gotta let that dry a little bit. Let's put a little bit of smooth that out. That. All right, and a little bit of the Indian yellow again. And it'll be under her nose. So she'll have a dark area right in here, shaded. And it kind of dips down to keep its bow there. A little bit in here. And right in here a little darker. And as you go up, it gets a little lighter right around the top of her nose, but it's still a little bit of a shadow in there. And a little bit of blue right in here. And in here. Darker in here. I'm going to put some a touch of sienna right in here where it needs to be the darkest. I know it looks kind of funny at first, but it will work out. Like that. And a little bit in here, just underneath. And then a little bit of soft yellow right in here. And a little bit, kind of a greenish color goes in here, but very pale. We'll probably use more colored pencils to bring that color in. A little bit yellow in underneath her eye here, right in there. Just a dab more right there. And then just a smidgen of that Hey, Colleen. Awesome stream. You did a great job. It's fun watching you. All right. And her nose. Now I'm going to take just the indigo and just inside of her nose here. I want it dark. Now it's not going to be black, but it'll be pretty darn close. And this one. I just wanted to, I've had this reference for a long time, and I've been wanting to do it for quite a while, but just haven't had the chance. Gardening gets in the way sometimes. I find noses so difficult. Yeah, they can be. Noses are all about shading and highlight. Very little line work. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit more that really, really dark in the eye here in the center pupil. I'll probably just use some Posca or gouache to put the highlight in, but I want that center pretty dark. All right, and a little bit more of that manganese right in here because she has a bit of a shadow cast by her chin on here. Okay. And a little bit of yellow right in there. I think I'm going to put a little bit more manganese. Let's see, right in here, I think. Get out a little bit, a little more. Now, that will have a bit of a softer edge, but it won't have to be like faded right out because the chin shape will be showing it. Let's put maybe some of that blue in here just to emphasize some of these fins so that they're showing a little bit. And we'll use some colored pencil to spruce them up. And the little part where your neck and your shoulder blades are, right in here, have that little area that's hollowed out. There's a little mark there by our collarbone. And right around here. Soften that one a little bit. Okay. Are you trying to find a new name? A little bit more there. Soften the edge. Thanks. Yeah, you just have to play. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes, you have to do it a couple times. You just have to practice if you want to. If you have in your head a certain look, then you have to practice. There's no way around that. Okay, let's try this. I want to dry it really good because I'm going to get my colored pencils out. I could use pastels too if you want to really brighten up areas. Pastels are fantastic for doing this. Excuse me. And then you can also go over top of the pastel with colored pencil if you want. I got to put her eyelashes in and eyebrows. There we go. There. So let's do some work on the, I like to work on the eyes right away. I don't know why, I just do like to get that in. So I'm going to get my, let's see, this is blue indigo and a black. There it is. And Probably a yellow, soft yellow, maybe a nice soft orange. And then the lips can be a little bit on the reddish side of things. And that might work. Okay, we'll start off with this. I like to use, I have a, the rotary type um, pencil sharpener, the ones you had in school, the teacher's one. I don't like using them with colored pencils. They eat up your pencil. So I like these brass ones that you can get. And then you can change the blades when you want. You can get them in different styles. They're great for using on your, let's do the eyelashes. So eyelashes, they're going to go in a pattern. Eyelashes, when you're doing eyelashes, so there's your lid. And I know a lot of people just goes like this, right? Try not to do that. Eyelashes don't go in a row. They tend to clump together. And some of them are shorter. And they will curve slightly as they go around. So instead of straight, when you start going past the center point of the eyelid, start curving it. Okay? Same with the bottom. As soon as it starts going a certain direction, then you'll start to see a little bit of a curve. And there's usually not as many on the bottom, and they're shorter. They don't go to the corner of the eye either. And they're kind of all over the place. If you really take a look at some of the eyelashes, they're usually quite messy, unless you've done makeup and you've separated them all and everything. But most of the time, they are messy looking. I'm going to put the crease in first. So there's a crease goes around her eye like this. And then there's a bit of a crease right here too. Kind of her eyelid. Fold of her eyelid. Now I can put in. Now we usually see. Now these are mermaid or whatever you want to call her, but so she'll have probably a lot more longer eyelashes. Could do fins as eyelashes too. Play with it. Now they're curving this direction and they're not all the same. And then down here we have a few. And again, keep the angles because it does matter. They don't go all the same way. Okay, so we're not going to give her too dramatic eyelash. It's going to be darker in the corners too. So maybe the edge of her eyelash here is fairly dark because it's shaded. But we're viewing this from a top view, so we're actually kind of seeing the thickness of her eyelid because we're looking at it from down below. So that's why this bottom part here is curved, because how we're seeing this. Okay, so a little bit. Let's do some indigo. Sharpen it. Okay, so just lightly, would be a bit of a shade from her eyelid and her lashes, kind of shading that area. So right over top of her eyeball, like that. In the corner. Same with this here. Put a little bit of shadow along because it's a sphere, and that would be going into the orbital crevice. So this is the part that sticks out the most. So you can add a little bit of a highlight, or not highlight, I like it when the edge of the iris is dark. That. It's fairly dark in there. Get rid of my notifications. Okay. And that. Right in here, I'm going to make this really dark on the top part of her nostril. So that's where it would be, you're viewing it as going into her nose. So you would have more of a dark area there. Okay, you may not notice it a lot, but it does make a difference. Same with the teeth here. I'm going to make it fairly dark, right in along there. And here, opening of her mouth. Just kind of goes in the shadows there. And I need a, let's see, probably, well, here's one. This one is Tuscan Red. So this would be shadowed more. This is the darkest area. So it would have a shadow there. And right along the edge too of her mouth. So a little bit on the shadowed side, just underneath here. And you can blend that in with, this is, let's see if this is going to be the right color. Yep, it should be working. So I'll just blend that in a little bit with this orange color. Now this is watercolor paper, so it's not going to be the smoothest, but it'll work. We'll make it work. Really dark in here, so we're going to put a little bit more. Right to there. And a fairly dark area in here, in the bottom here. And then go up a little bit. Now we can get some yellow. Blend that in there. Your teeth are going to have a little bit of a, I should have used that. Actually, a little bit of a aqua tint. So maybe I'll just do that right now with some very slight though. You don't want too heavy color. Just slight from the water, actually. That. And then just, oh, we'll let that dry. And let me just sharpen this yellow one here. We probably should have, oh, maybe that other one will work too. Let's try this one. Okay, around the nose, a little bit of this orangey color, just a bit, where the little bits of shadow underneath the nose you'll have. It'll be darker on this side though, because that's the side where most of the shadow comes from. So put a little bit there, comes down into the Cupid's bow. And I'm going to put a little bit right in here. And let me get a light. Let's see, I don't know if this will work or not. I want a little bit of an aqua down here on her eye. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. We'll put little highlights and stuff like that on there too. We'll get this first put in. Let's see. A soft, I don't know if this is, no, that's going to be too much of a yellow. So let's see. Maybe this one might do. Just a little bit of yellow in here. And just a smidge of that indigo. Fairly dark in here, so it goes underneath her lip. And then a little bit of red. A little bit of, what is this one? Can't read it. Something aqua. Smudged. Hey, Shelley. Hey, Ann, good to see you. Okay, a little bit more aqua color in here. Where her, just underneath her chin. So we're looking up, remember? And then there's going to be a little bit of a cast highlight of this red from the goldfish right in here. So, like that. That. A little bit of aqua around this part of her corner of her lip. A little bit of this in here, blend it in. That. Now, sometimes you're wondering why these little marks, why bother? But they do make a difference. And you will, um, after you've done a few of colored pencil or paint, you will start to see colors differently. But you have to get the practice in first. Now there's a little bit of a glow right in here. That. And maybe right in here. That. Alrighty. Oh, and there's a little bit of that color in here. And in the corner of her eye there. Okay. Good. And let's see, a little bit of this. Just go up a little bit more in there. And I'm going to put a little of this aqua color in right in here as a shadow color. Now there is a little highlight on her nostril here, right here. And just a slight one right there. Right there where it catches the light, and then right here on the end of her nose. Fairly light going up there. And in her lip here, because the highlight's coming from the surface of the water. So this part be light. Might even have to use some Posca or gouache if you find you can't get enough of a highlight. CK70 art. Yeah. Oh, you didn't have an Instagram? Or did you have to create a new one for some reason? Just a little bit of a separation in the teeth right there, but you don't want to make it too obvious because then it kind of looks weird. There's kind of this color coming down off of her teeth. Like that. I think I'm going to put a little bit of this Tuscan red too, just as a bit of a deeper color there. Maybe in here too. Right there. She kind of has a little weird. Is that better? I think so. Okay. And right up here, a little bit lighter, I think. So there'd be a little bit of a highlight on there, a little bit lighter because of the light from above hitting the top of her lip. I'm going to take a Posca. And right here, and then just a few little tabs on the top part. I think I'm going to make this too. Right here. Right here. And put a little mark there. Like that. And then right in, let's see, I don't really want, well, I guess I could make them, I'll smudge them. I don't want them too bold. So I just smudge them with my finger. And that way they're not too bright. I don't want them really bright. Kind of between the lashes. I should have done this before I did the lashes. Kind of sparkles. Same within here. Like that. Usually there's one in there. Maybe, oh, the light's coming from the top. There'd be right here on the brow, a light area there, a fair amount of highlight, and just kind of dabbing. Like that. Okay. fairly light area here. Her chin. Let's see, I think I want a little bit of dark in here. Mysterious looking. And I think it needs to come down into her nose here a little bit. About here. I think like that. Okay. Then take some of this, push it into the paper because this is watercolor paper. So kind of burnishing, more or less. Okay, and some of the yellow. That. And a little bit darker right in here around this nose area, right in here. And that has to be fairly dark, about the same as this area. Take it out. Uh, yeah, looks a little better. Maybe a little bit hazier looking here, I think. Not so line oriented. Yeah. That's better. So the goldfish, I think I'm going to do a little bit of aqua and let's see if I can find a, yeah, that should do. Yep. Her lips are so voluptuous. Yeah, they are, eh? Okay. So a little bit of a softer, what is this one? Peacock blue. So just where the fins and whatnot are connecting to the fish. I'm just gonna, right along the bottom here, I want a little bit of that going into the fin. Let's do a little aqua too. So now you could use watercolor pencils and then use your brush to do this if you wanted to. You don't have to use colored pencils for everything. Okay, and then kind of a suggestion of some here. You might have to use a white. It's very, very suggestive, I guess you could say, this part. Let's you could use pastels too. Look really cool. Put some dark lines in there too. This is kind of a dorsal fin, but it's kind of like it's see-through, but a little bit of color. Let's see. Let's put a little eyeball. This would be really bright. The highlight from above shining on them. So you don't have to put in every little detail when you're doing stuff like this. A lot of times the person's mind will fill in for you. As long as you put a little bit of the idea in, that's all you need. So you just have to take a look at what you're trying to represent and try to figure out what is that one thing that people associate whatever it is you're drawing, that most people associate as a line or shape, a color sometimes. And put it in. Okay, so he'll have little highlights in the fin areas here and there, like the scales, that type of thing. So I'm just putting basically a little highlight in here and there, nothing crazy, but just here and there. You could, if you want it to really show, you can use pen, be cool. You don't need a lot. A lot of times it's just, like I said, a suggestion of fin or whatever it is. Let's put his little bit of an eyeball in here. That. Sometimes you have a little bit of a Wherever there's a highlight, sometimes you have a little bit of a shadow under that, and that'll emphasize those highlights even more by putting the shadow underneath those. We can put, I guess this will work. You could put the color that it's on to use a darker shade of that color, but I'm just going to use this for now, like that. Maybe a little bit of speckling in here, just along the just put a few in towards the center. That should be good enough. I'll put a little bit more in here. Blend it in with this. And let's put a little bit darker in here. So the big secret of a successful drawing in, doesn't matter what medium, is contrast. The darkest darks and the lightest lights. Your eye will be very pleased to see that. Makes a big difference. So if you can do that, then you've got it made. I know sometimes it's a little scary adding a dark on, and especially when you've just gotten the drawing to the way you want it, and then you have to add a little bit darker, a little bit darker. It's scary to mess it up, right? But if you can get that in there, it'll make a big difference. So she would have a lot more shadow right in here. A bit more in there. Just ease up on the pressure as you go into it. And then I'm going to take this, smooth it out a little bit. And you can take either, let's try the yellow, since there's yellow in her fur, in her skin. We'll add a little bit of that in there. I don't mind the texture on this because she's kind of got scales anyways. But I do still think, let's do the black, a little bit of black in this darkest areas here. I think it really needs that dark there. Okay, and then a little bit more. There. It's crazy how early school starts now. Oh, it started already? Next Tuesday I have a meeting with the admin to... Awesome, Brenda. Good luck. Oh, you got the job. Oh, awesome. Congratulations. You must be relieved. Okay, in here, I'm going to add a little bit of this color here. Just a little bit where the fish is. And maybe a little bit more in here. Right in there. Okay, now let's do that other fish. Yeah, the kids here have got, what, another 5 weeks of holidays, I guess, roughly. So add some of the marks for the fish fin. That, and there's the mark around his eye. This little, and there's a little bit of highlight in here, right there. Highlight in here. And highlights in there. And some in here. I think I might have to get the Posca out for this area here, though. Well, it might work. That. And a few marks in here. And that, and then some darker underneath. Remember, where there's highlights, there's a shadow. Let's do some dark in this one here. Darker red, where the red is. Do some fins marks. And a few fin marks in here. A little bit of yellow around here. Here. maybe some aqua right in there. Like that. And a little bit of darker blue in here between his just to give it a little more depth. Right in here. And then some aqua to blend it in as we go up. I think I'm going to give these guys a little highlight on their eyeball too. Just like that. Maybe I'm gonna like that. All right. And oh, I got to do her eyebrows. Okay. She's just going to have some messy eyebrows. And maybe I'll just put some of this color inside. So I don't have to worry about having that color move. If it moves, that's okay. I'm going to put some of this here as our temple area. A bit like that. And I'm going to put a little bit of this in here just for the shadowed area. Emphasize that a little bit. Going in there. Then white. Did you start this painting on stream before? No, I was with Lena. We were just arting together on the weekend, and that's when we said, why don't we go live? So we did. I think I will do a little bit of Posca on the fish, just a smidge. Just in certain, well, I might have to use, this isn't the best Posca. Let's see. Try this one. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of where some of these higher areas where you would think that the sun or the highlight from the water would be hitting it. Uh, it's probably not going to show up that much, but sometimes just a little bit makes a difference. Just kind of helps you recognize what it is. Maybe in here. Like that. Kind of crazy fish scales or whatever you want to call it. Little fins. They're a little bit over exaggerated, but I like them. That. Had to plan to do this image, or is it something you saw in an abstract painting? Oh, it's one of the AI creations that I got. I do some AI creating, and this is one of them. So it's a great way to get ideas and color combinations. So, I know a lot of people are against AI, but for helping you get ideas and composition, color combinations, it's a great resource. And a lot of times you don't do the whole thing anyways. You're using it as an inspiration, not as something you're going to copy. So I like using AI. I know a lot of people are against it, but I think it's great. Have any of you guys tried it? I think it's a lot of fun to use. Let's put a little bit of highlight in there. White. Okay, where did I put my white? Oh, there it is. It's hard having your house on the market. Oh, I tried it, but I think the app I found sucked. Oh, well, there is a knack to what words you have to put in too. You Some apps will give you a crash course on how to word it and stuff like that, because there is particular ways of wording for the AI to understand what you're talking about. Oh, you're selling your house by your on your own? I tried it, but it's hard having your house on the market. Yeah. Ugh, I hated selling my house. Well, the last house I sold though, that was I was in the market of crazy town. Like you just had to mention were putting up your house and it sold. Like they didn't even put it up. They didn't even have time to put it on the books and it sold for more than what I was asking. So I sure hope it goes that way for you. The one I use is, oh, let me think. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name. Uh, just a minute. Let me look. Um, no, that's not it. Um, creatives. No, that's not it. Shoot, where did it go? I had it on my bookmark. Oh, there it is. It's called Creative Fabrica. So creative and then Fabrica. And it's called CF Spark Art is what you want to get into. There's a whole slew of different things you can get, but it's Spark on your header. Go under that. And you can find create art, create text, create patterns, create transparent PNGs, create sketches, create image mixes, create coloring pages, tons. It's, I like it. Um, Now I know I'm not the best at it, but I get a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, that's it. It's a lot of fun, and they give you a little. You can go and look at other people's stuff, and you can use theirs too because it's all royalty free. Anyone that makes them up, unless you don't want them to, and then you've got a hidden folder that you keep yours in, or it'll say this is hidden. But there are a lot of people that will, when you go to press on their creations, it'll list all of the wording they put in. And if you can take that and change some of the wording for your own stuff, you'll find a way of, after you use it for a while, you'll understand the wording and how it works. No, you can, they actually give you a free version, and I believe it's 100 creations you're allowed to make for free. And then if you really get into it, I think it's $10 a month or something like that. And you can, um, you're not fixed into a certain amount of time. You have to stay there. And if you do that, then they give you 1,000 creations you can do that month instead of 100. But it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's all kinds of stuff you can do with it, and they're all commercial royalty free. So You can print them out. You can do whatever you want with them. There's stickers. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with them. It's a great resource, I find. Do you need to do on your PC, or is there an app for iPad? I do mine on my laptop. I would imagine there is an app for iPad. Can't see why there wouldn't be. I've never looked into it, but I can't see why they wouldn't, because there's a lot of people that use an iPad. You'd have to look at their recommendations and stuff. I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you. All right. Well, I think I'm done. I think it's done. Let's just lighten this eye up a little bit right in here. Right across the eye. I'm going to just lighten it a bit. And then let's see. I wish I had a clear. Let's do the black a little bit more in this part. That. There, a little bit better. Thanks for the info. I'll look into it. Yeah, it's worth trying. I really enjoy it. I'm putting a whole slew of the ones that I've made up. Maybe I'll make a coloring book out of them. They're all fairies, of course, most of them, but they're fun. All right, so I think I will let you guys go. So if you guys want try this, I can do up a sketch for you and put it on the members page on Patreon or YouTube membership, and then you guys can play with it. So give me a little bit of time to do that, because I don't have a sketch, so I'd have to draw one up. But yeah, I really enjoy doing these, and you know, a lot of times, half the time is trying to figure out what to do, or a composition, or and if you get ideas from getting AI work, I think it's cool. And this is just 140-pound watercolor paper. All right. So I guess I'll let you guys go, and hope to see you all on Thursday. And I'm not sure what we'll be doing. But if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll see what I can do. I've never heard of You haven't heard of AI? Go on that list. Actually, wait a minute. I'll see if I can get it. Just hold your horses here so you can see. Let's see. Copy. Let's see. Will it? No, it's too. Okay, let's take this out. There's the website. And you have to go and find sparks for the AI. Oh, you're going to PEI. Well, I hope they survived the flooding down there. That was crazy. Have fun, Devin. Karen's down there. Did you know that from the Art House studio? She just moved down there. She had her house built there. Prince Edward Island, Shelley. Uh, hmm. so it's it's like Instagram? No, it's a place to buy digitals, I guess you could say. But they also have the AI. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I'll let you guys go and see you on Tuesday. Have a fantastic creative day, everybody.